On February 12, 2011, 10 adventurous students from the University of Florida set off on what they thought would be an exhilarating caving expedition into the Ellison Cave. Unfortunately, their adventure turned into a tragic nightmare when 2 of them became trapped in a pit, forced to battle freezing temperatures and ultimately losing their lives. This is the somber tale of the Ellison Cave tragedy. The investigators later revealed that Perry and 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧, 2 of the students, were wearing only shorts and t-shirts. They were ill-prepared for the harsh conditions of one of the most technical caves in the United States, home to the country's deepest freefall pit. It all started as an exciting getaway, with winter almost over but the cold still lingering. 10 students, 5 boys and 5 girls, decided to go caving to celebrate the upcoming birthday of 20-year-old Grant 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧. Grant, along with his close friend Michael, had shared a passion for adventure. Despite being in different university departments, their bond was strengthened by their academic excellence and shared Christian faith. They had previously enjoyed a variety of adventurous activities together, from rock climbing to skydiving and wake surfing. Only a few weeks before, they'd explored another cave and were eager for their next adventure. They chose Ellison Cave, located in Walker Country in Pigeon Mountain, Georgia. This cave, over 1,000 feet deep, is the 12th deepest in America. More dauntingly, it houses the fantastic pit, the deepest unobstructed pit in the country, which is nearly twice the height of the Statue of Liberty. The students embarked on a journey of over 400 miles from their university, reaching Georgia the day before the planned caving trip. They booked a hotel near the wildlife management area where Pigeon Mountain is located. The following day, they woke up excited and prepared to leave for their expedition, packing essential caving gear like headlamps, helmets, and ropes. Leaving their phones behind, they set off, an oversight they would soon regret. As they began their hike, the cold weather became an immediate concern. They were dressed casually, and the temperature kept dropping. Despite the chilling air, the group's spirits remained high as they approached the cave's entrance after nearly an hour of hiking. The entrance was a narrow, jagged opening that only allowed one person to pass through at a time. Unfazed, they lowered themselves into the cave, one by one, and were soon enveloped in darkness that was quickly pierced by the beams of their headlamps. Their sight inside the cave was mesmerizing, a stark contrast to the biting cold they had to endure. In the summer, the cave's water temperature is around 56 degrees Fahrenheit, making it significantly colder in the water. The group decided to keep their exploration brief, as nobody was keen on taking a dip in the frigid waters. However, the unexpected happened when one of the students' backpacks fell into the warm-up pit. This pit, though not as deep as the Fantastic Pit, dropped 125 feet and was equally precarious due to the freezing temperatures and a nearby waterfall. The waterfall's roar was intimidating as the cold it brought. The backpack contained essential materials, and the group needed it. Grant, being the leader, volunteered to retrieve it. Despite his friends' warnings and their uneasy feeling about the task, he insisted that he would be fine. With his friends' reluctant encouragement, he began his descent into the pit using a rope. As Grant descended, the cold intensified, and he started to shiver. When he reached halfway, he heard a disturbing sound from his harness and rope. Panic surged through him as he realized he was stuck. He tried to maneuver his way out, but his movements only caused the rope to wrap around him tighter. The freezing water from the waterfall drenched him, and he screamed for help, his voice muffled by the roaring water and his shivering lips. Michael, hearing Grant's distress, immediately strapped on the same rope and descended to help his friend. He called out to Grant, urging him to hold on. When Michael reached Grant, he found him barely coherent, shivering uncontrollably and exhausted. As Michael tried to free Grant, he too became entangled and was soaked by the freezing water. Both were now trapped, unable to move up or down the rope. Above ground, their friends were in a frenzy. They decided to split into 2 groups. Some stayed behind to communicate with Grant and Michael, offering them words of encouragement, while others hurried out of the cave to get help. Those who made it out quickly descended the mountain and retrieved their phones from the car to call the authorities. By 2:19 p.m., they had alerted the rescue services. Back in the cave, the voices of Grant and Michael were growing weaker as the cold took its toll on their bodies. Their friends above continued to shout encouragement and prayers, hoping to keep their spirits up. However, hypothermia was setting in, draining their energy and causing their respiratory system and hearts to fail. After about 30 minutes of intermittent communication, their voices fell silent. Their friends were devastated, seeing the rope they had swaying slightly in the wind. Soon, the country's cave and cliff rescue team arrived. While some rescuers treated the remaining students for hypothermia, others descended into the pit to rescue Grant and Michael. At 3:30 p.m., they reached the boys and checked for pulses, but found none. It was too late. The news was communicated to those above, and the cave echoed with sobs and cries of grief. The rescue team faced a daunting task in freeing the boys from the entangled rope. Despite their experience and better equipment, it took them 6 hours to release the bodies and pull them up to the pit. And by 10 p.m., the tragic mission was incomplete, and the friends above broke down once again as they saw their lifeless friends. The loss of Grant and Michael was a heavy blow to their families and the University of Florida community. Grant, a brilliant sociology student in his final year, was remembered through the establishment of the 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 Memorial Fund, providing scholarships through Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Michael, another academic standout, was honored with a Carnegie Medal for his bravery trying to save his friend. The Department of Fine Arts created the Michael Pye Memorial Scholarship Fund, awarding to students into the Gator Marching Band who exhibit the strengths of a character, generosity, exuberance, and dedication to the band. This tragic event serves as a stark reminder to the importance of preparation and respect for nature's challenges. The bravery and selflessness displayed by Michael in his attempt to save Grant are commendable, highlighting the profound bond of friendship and the lengths one might go in an effort to save a friend. The memory of Grant and Michael continue to inspire and remind us of the fragility of life and the enduring spirit of the human courage and camaraderie